So what's the word on episode 2? Well, Samuel L. Jackson does what Samuel L. Jackson does, and he does it very well. He does his very, trademark blow up or screaming scenes or frustrated scenes, and he does it well. Once with Ben Krennic, and then he does it again with Rhodey, War Machine. I do have to highlight, got into some really weird areas of, I'm not even joking, racial politics and plantation and slavery, and I'm just like, and it's pretty grotesque given that Don Cheadle, and I don't hate him, but he replaced another black actor. It really felt tonally disgusting with the second conversation. However, they did push the story forward a little bit, and if you did read the comics in a very hardcore fashion, you can kind of sketch out what they're trying to do. But again, so many parts here are missing. We don't have yet, canonically, the Fantastic Four or Galactus, although they're giving big hints that that may come ahead. That was nice, but at this point it's very confusing because they just don't explain the central problem, which is why Earth in particular. In the comics, it's laid out fairly well. You could still be not convinced, but it's like, okay, there are reasons. Here it just seems we just want Earth. And I gotta be honest, Gravik as the main villain guy is kind of empty. They do provide a little bit more backstory, which makes it slightly more convincing why he does what he does. There are some interesting parallels to real-life politics, and even to Dial of Destiny, of kind of using people as assets and them then turning on you, and the spy game and all these twisted allegiances. And that's all well and good, but again, that doesn't help the central story here, because again, we're still dealing with that fictional universe. Though there were quite a few real-life references, although they don't quite add up. I guess they're just being done for parody or comedic reasons. So the basic story is still fairly weak. Performance is pretty strong, but it's all very predictable. So for instance, Emilia Clarke is very good in what she does as one of the Skrulls, but you can clearly see where she's going to go, so not a lot of dramatic tension. And if even you've seen the trailer for the Marvels, you may know what happens with Nick Fury. I'm sure they're going to do some shocking twists where people we thought were never Skrulls, they turned out to be Skrulls, and like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But so far, it just feels like show's okay. It's got some nice touches, especially visually. They do some interesting things with special effects, but even there's inconsistencies with like how the Skrulls transform. They seem to transform with clothes, but then other times they don't transform with clothes. Are the clothes part of their body? Don't know. And increasingly, I don't care. So it's all right, but it just feels like very below average Star Trek episodes, which makes sense because these episodes are filled with science fiction concepts and elements, but they're not being utilized as well as they should be. So still a lot of work to do with Secret Invasion.